Why not? Up here in the top left-hand corner of the map is the purple Terran, the bandana Terran. You know him better as coL QXC. Follow him at... Yeah.
How do you not have that on paste instead of typing it out at this point? You're awful.
I had the SDC, so I just deleted the last 6 letters and added QXC.
Oh my god. Spawning here in the lower right corner of the map, playing for property, spawning pink once more. It is the Protoss player, RunA. And you can find him here on Twitter. And wow, talking about BM with the Sasquatch guy. Do not follow him, guys. It is the explicit request of these casters. You do not go to the Twitter. The Twitter, of course, being at complexity_Sasquatch. Now, just putting the Twitters out there. Alright, so, back down to brass tacks. It's this game. It's Akalon Ways. Panda, how do you think it's going to go for QXC?
I imagine he's going to go for a 1 Rax expand or some sort of Reaper build into more Rax.
Yeah, RunA, I don't know, last game, it didn't feel like anything particularly, like that Widowmine drop, I feel is what really offset him. Because, I mean...
Yeah, oh my god, that did so much damage. Like, 14 workers killed with just the straight up, initial drop.
Well, not to mention...
delayed mining time.
Well,
So
I feel one of the biggest parts of that, too, is forget the fact that, like, he had to actually take the time... Oh, wow, you actually got a Bears here in the foreground. He had to take the time, mind you, to actually build another observer. That completely puts that gap. It's not a long gap, but a gap in his Colossus production. So, you know, there's that potential. He could have had 2 Colossus instead of 1 for that first engage as well. I mean, any number of things dominoed off of that initial drop. So, I don't know, I can't say that that necessarily is the sole reason RunA fell behind, but it definitely hurt him.
And this will not be 2 Rax Reaper aggression that we've been seeing so much in TVT. This is actually just going to be a straight up 2 Rax. Fuser would be proud, although it is not an 11-11.
Well, you say Fuser would be proud, but without Reapers, I can't say that I agree with you with that.
Dude, he 2 Raxes so much in TVP. Oh my god.
I know, but it's like Fuser at this point, I just know him for his Reapers. There's no, like, Fuser, Terran? I don't know what Terran is, but I know what Reapers are. Yeah, SCV gonna scout. If he can get a bunker down here as well, this is gonna absolutely solidify some great aggression here on the natural. He might just go for the block again though, because the Marines are just kind of nestling up at home. He might not even go for a block. Actually, probably would be best just to come home after seeing that the Zealot is already out.
He wants to stay consistent. I would like him to go for a block here.
Looks like he's going to. He's got the minerals. Nope. Never mind. JK. Rowling.
On the one hand, it hurts your push a little bit because you will have to sacrifice either an SCV or a round in Marine production, but if you consistently show, like, hey, I'm putting down an engineering bay for the 2nd time in a row. What did I do the last time I went for an engineering bay block? I went for a 1 Rax expand. Obviously, why would I invest 150 minerals elsewhere? Well,
I like this too. QXC actually gonna come around the side part of the map. He doesn't want to get scouted by any means at all. And I gotta tell you, Panda, whether it's Major, QXC, or any other Terran player, 5 Marines can do so much damage in the early game.
And this failsafe here. I mean, he has the bunker up. If you don't have this bunker up and you go for that, subversive maneuver past the main transition route, you just end up getting screwed because the Stalker and the Zealot end up killing as many SCVs as you could kill probes.
Yeah, well, he's gonna take a fight here.
Core.
Oh, well, let's scout this. Well, he can actually pick this off. More importantly than scouting.
Very nice reaction time by RunA.
Where's that bunker going down, QXC? You cheeky SCV, I do see it.
Yeah, there we go.
In the natural. I like that choice too, because yeah, with the sentry here at the main, force building off that ramp all day can be quite troublesome, but QXC will protect this for the time being. We see a lot of posturing out of both players. And we'll start poking away, but the Stalker does arrive. Will he pick off the SCV is the big question, because if he can stop this bunker, he's going to be in a really good position, but if this bunker goes up, it could mean a lot of trouble. Sentry almost gets picked off while the ship core being focused down at the same time. But if all these Marines die...
It would be beyond QXC.
Oh, and the bunker at 355 health, 38 out of 40 seconds, does get cancelled. Or will be forced to get cancelled, rather. Unless, is he pulling another CV? No. Yeah, no extra CVs.
No, destroyed there.
I'm a little shocked about that.
Yeah, so am I. It happens. Happens to the best of us. And a 3rd Rax following this up for QXC, so he's transitioning out of this economically.
Losing those Marines kind of hurt, but you know what? Picking off that Sentry, not a bad consolation prize at all. But we have a very early Robo. And I'm wondering, you know, with the way the Widowmines went last game, is this going to be for the Observer, or are we seeing RunA specifically go to Colossus after seeing all of those Marines on the field?
Colossi are ridiculously good on this map. I think it's too early to make a call based on initial scouting. to go for a Colossi build, because that's generally, I mean, it's going to delay you not only the time it takes to build a robotics bay and get the gas investment, but like you also have to go up for gas. You have to figure out whether or not you actually want to take it to the base or not. I really like the scouting though. I mean, these 3 stalkers by RunA.
Yeah, it's gonna be that rush to Colossus, man. I kind of, you know, the thing is,
it's so good on this map. Like,
there's so few races
are ridiculously good.
Yeah, there's so few races that can quote-unquote blind counter you with builds, but the Colossus build works pretty effectively against most things, I feel.
Yeah. It's very committed if he does not decide to get a 3rd base, and considering the lack of a forward for seeing here...
Oh. Go get your plumber, Mario! Meanwhile, we got Stalkers being chased away by the Marines and the Marauders in the middle of the field. RunA not taking too much damage on this. Middle Stalker is being focused because it is the low one.
I like the Marauder buffering there initially. Unfortunately for QXC, the Marines are now out in front. He does correct that.
Yeah, I mean, look at home too. I mean, with the Mothership Core still live, it does actually have the energy to overcharge if there's any sort of drop that comes. Overcharge, while, you know, it does take a while to pick off the Marines, it gets rid of a medevac rather quickly, which is quite nice if that ends up being the choice. But as well, oh, Stalker does go down. We have an Observer on the field. Colossus now under production as well. 2nd Observer out. So, I mean, 1 defensive Observer and 1 offensive Observer. This will be absolutely critical at dealing with any sort of potential for Widow Mines. But with the Colossus coming, Panda, QXC, if he doesn't scout it, might just be caught off guard, as we see a ton of infantry production.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can do to alter your game plan as a Terran player against Colossi. He doesn't have the economy to be able to support 2 starports at this point, so the only thing we like, the correct reaction if QXC scans is either determine, okay, he's all-inning me, I'm going to get 2 additional barracks. He's not all enemy, he's doing some sort of macro 2-base push after he gets +2 weapons. I think I can squeeze a 3rd in here, and just build a lot of bunkers to try and stall until you get your Viking count up. But QXC is actually pushing right now. He is under the impression that RunA is actually either trying to secure or has secured a 3rd base already. We shouldn't see him commit to this, but I like the fact that he's putting on a little bit of pressure.
But you know what? With this many Marauders on the field and extended thermal lens not complete yet, it's actually entirely viable that QXC might snipe off this first Colossus if the force fields aren't absolutely perfect out of RunA.
Yeah.
I do like where he's positioned himself, though. We'll keep him safely nestled as the overcharge should reach about halfway across this ramp. And QXC gonna scout this. It's like, oh no, this is a Colossus.
Yeah. Especially with that sentry energy, like, you do not move 2 full energy sentries with a Colossus. Don't even care if it has thermal lens.
No, QXC
thinks differently.
I like this, spreading out already. Overcharge going down on that Nexus. Some beautiful force fields, but is it enough? Meanwhile, the top half actually focusing down the Nexus. Colossus being ignored for the time being.
His time warp was so late. The Zealot warping will be able to deter this, but...
Well, Colossus is still alive. Stickman joining the fray now, and that is absolutely critical. He will clean all this up. And QXC not taking a favorable engage there.
That's why you don't move Colossus and 2 full energy sentries, man.
Well, it's not even that. His choice to focus the Nexus very questionable to me, with the Colossus being where it was. He could have very well moved forward.
That was auto-targeting. That was not QXC's doing. Unfortunately, QXC didn't correct that, but they auto-prioritized the Nexus due to the AI on the Photon Overcharge. But we actually have a drop coming in here. I do believe that this is scouted by... No!
We got 2 drops, actually.
Yeah, another one en route into the natural base of Protest player.
RunA's positioned quite nicely, though. He's a bit of a sentinel right now. Not sure where to go. Wants to stay safe. He's going to stay in this base position. I mean, he can't really afford to leave this Nexus. He doesn't have the energy to overcharge again. We'll have to clean this up, but in doing so, we'll lose his 3rd, or at least be forced to cancel it, splitting his forces up.
Very nice by QXC. It is canceled, though.
That is unfortunate. Of course, there's a lot of time lost, but also forcing RunA to split his forces, allowing QXC to secure his own 3rd in the time being.
And warp in a lot more Stalkers, and really, the Protoss, yeah, he'll get some Stalkers out, but not having the icons out for Blink.
Stalkers are incredibly limited in their usage without Blink. I mean, they're really nice damage units, but without Blink to catch these medevacs, as we see here, he's just struggling to try and keep up.
His TC did just actually finish, so I'm wondering why he's not continuing with upgrades at the moment. He does have the gas to do so.
And actually opting for Zealot Charge instead. Interesting choice. I mean,
RunA does tend to opt for Charge in the overwhelming amount of his PVTs, at least the ones that I've cast.
Well, I feel it works really well. I mean, when you're dealing with Marauders, all you gotta do is connect. But as we saw last game, if Ghosts make it on the field, Charge doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, having half of your HP taken away by that the EMP charge removing the shields, it just does so much. The Zealots really do melt once their shields are down. They're just such good tanky units aside from that, though. QXC did actually keep this natural drop alive, and keeping that medevac alive is really going to help him out, because he is looking to follow this up with a 2-2 push. I mean, this is exactly what QXC is looking to do right now.
Coming in here continually aggressing at the third, and the big thing about these drops, and it's weird because when you say a contain, you imagine that there's a giant siege line outside the natural, right? Like that's the first thing in your head, but QXC's done that with these minor little drops, constantly aggressing against the third and the natural. We have RunA, I mean look at his forces spread between all three of his bases, unsure what to do, where to go, as he does not want to be caught off guard by a drop.
The Observer is getting a little antsy right now. It's moving around a little bit. I'm interested to see if QXC is going to snipe this. Because this is like #1, the most common spot for an Observer ever. Oh, never mind. This is very Marauder heavy though, but like the Zealot count hasn't gotten to the point where it's troublesome, and unless he like now warps in a pylon, delays the push, and ends up warping in Zealots behind his opponent, going for a sandwich, the amount of surface area potential for him to engage is negligible. The Zealots won't really do that much, even with charge. 2-2 completing is very key, though. If he was on 1-1, this would be a different engagement. And here come the SCVs. This is what's up. Welcome to the metagame.
It's a lot of SCVs, but the thing is with pulling SCVs like this, it works more effectively, I feel, when there aren't, you know, 3 Colossus, 4 Colossus, 5 Colossus on the field.
But they screw with the AI of the Colossi. Despite the fact that they'll die very, very soon, they'll do their job in those first 2 waves.
Yeah, they'll soak those hits. But there are a lot of Vikings here. Will it be enough? Without that blink, only just now started, it's going to be really hard to get underneath this.
The Stalkers are completely removed from the Colossus force.
Oh, but QXC... Oh, does manage to get that one. I was going to say, there's no way he doesn't focus that down, but we have the push forward. The overcharge already on the Nexus. A little preemptive out of our Protoss player.
Behind. He needs to be careful about the forces fields. EMP's here as
well. Zealots coming in at the same time.
Nice here by QXC.
But the Stalkers are not focusing on the Vikings. Vikings going to come down and annihilate the Colossus, but they are absolutely melting the Marine and the Marauder lines. And I think RunA should be able to hold this. Going to force QXC to fall back at the very least.
But, I mean, QXC got the better end of that engagement. 5 Colossi are dead. And no, he needs to back up to the Photon overcharge. You can't understate how effective that is at deterring a Terran push.
Well, RunA definitely held that very nicely. He only lost units, mind you, and he's warping in a lot more faster than QXC can produce. But the Colossus, man, losing 5 Colossus like that, that hurts. And if only Blink were researched before charge, that may not have been the situation.
There's no tech switch behind this. There's no Templar Archives, despite the fact that he's getting Blink right now, and he has one. I mean, like, the Templar Archives hasn't been started yet. He doesn't have Archons. He doesn't have that ability to transition.
Man, this is going to be quite a bit different as far as this next engage goes. There's not as many Vikings as there were before, but the Colossus numbers are also non-existent, so it's going to be primarily Zealots and Stalkers, you know, gateway units.
Sentries. I mean, this is... Oh my gosh. If the EMP lands on the Stalkers, I can't emphasize how fast they'll melt. Second Colossus...
Well, charge going off.
No.
But the Stalkers, instead of engaging behind the Zealots, actually going to take out the Vikings. Very nicely done, but they do get the Colossus before...
The second Colossus is, like, pondering over the... Like, just contemplating deeply the natural nexus.
What's going on, guys? Meanwhile, the Stalkers valiantly being microed here by RunA. We see some great blinks coming up, but the medevacs are just doing so much healing. Panda, the +2 armor is just really, really coming into effect here, I feel, as RunA...
supply lead here for our turn player.
And that Colossus still hit RunA, F2, A move! Move all of your units together! Blinking back now, realizing, like, oh no, I did have Colossus that entire time. Will find himself unguarded. GG!
As QXC does manage to take out and seal the deal for coL, man. 4-0 here in this first round.